we're going to be talking about tonight. And I should back up a minute and tell everybody I'd introduce myself. I'm Greg Snyder. I've been doing this just about 6 years. I'll tell you my why moment in a minute. I've shared with a few of you. But, well, I might as well share it now. My why moment with this technology is this makes 5 different kinds of water. Now, in that video, they talked about negative charges. They talked about pH, cellular dehydration, and a lot of different things. But we're going to go over all that stuff right here in front of you and show you. One of the waters it makes is an 11.5 really alkaline water. That's a degreaser that rinses off the oil-based pesticides, insecticides from our rice, our nuts, our fruits and vegetables. Does anyone know how many poisons may be on these tomatoes in the form of insecticides, pesticides, and herbicides? It blew me away when I found out. 26, I'll tell you. And you can go on whatsonmyfood.org and look up anything, applesauce, apples, tomatoes, strawberries, and they tell you all the 26, whether they're neurological disorders or cancer causing or what they do to your body. So we're going to show you that in a minute, but yeah, I started my journey with this because of that about 6 years ago, and now I love what I do, helping educate people. And so that being said, we've talked a little bit about healthcare, and a lot of that had to do with our body, our blood pH. It said if it was only a few tenths off of that 7.346 pH, which is a little bit on the alkaline side, we're in a coma. We go a little bit above it or a little bit below it, so that's really critical. Does everyone in here think that we're healthier in America now than we say were 20 years ago? Sicker, right? Yeah. We are, and I'm going to go over a couple little things. I've got another amazing video. This is one of the first videos I ever saw. This is a movie, but it's just a trailer of it.
The American healthcare system is badly broken.
The present system doesn't work, and it's going to take us down. We need a whole new kind of medicine.
We're in the grip of a very big industry, and it doesn't want to stop making money.
If I spend 5 minutes with you and then put in one of these stents, probably get paid $1,500. For me to spend 45 minutes with a patient to try to figure out what their true problem is, probably get paid $15. It's a completely irrational system.
We don't have a healthcare system in this country. We have a disease management system.
We're spending almost twice as much in America as any other country on earth, but our lifespan isn't even in the top 20.
30,000 medical recipients die each year from care they didn't need.
That's the equivalent of a jumbo jet crashing every single week. If the aviation industry killed as many people, we'd be up in arms.
The administration pays you based on how many patients you see. All right, who's next? If you try and buck the system, someone says, what can we do to get your productivity up? I'm not interested in getting my productivity up. I'm interested in helping patients.
We're seeing the military just being a microcosm of the problems society's having.
Soldiers' use of prescription drugs has tripled in the past 5 years.
This medications I was on.
Only by accepting that the American healthcare system is badly broken will we be able to seek out the escape fires, the potential solutions. There are answers.
One company has figured out how to lower healthcare costs by more than 40%.
We provide incentives for people to engage in healthier behaviors.
The Army Surgeon General directed that we establish the Pain Management Task Force to take a look at alternatives to narcotics.
I was skeptical, so skeptical.
I've gotten a lot of inspiration, a different perspective. There's a different way of doing things that is possible.
If I think about what healthcare could be like, it would have a lot more care in it.
The healthcare system is unsustainable. We're really mortgaging the future. Not just the health of healthcare, but the health of the nation.
So wasn't that kind of eye-opening a little bit? Safeway was the company they showed on there. And just from helping them get a little exercise, maybe teach them about nutrition, drinking some water and whatnot, 40% reduction in their healthcare costs. That's pretty amazing, right? So in the beginning, I showed a slide about healthcare being our responsibility. And one of, like I've said, and I'll probably say it many times, is we're going to educate you on a lot of different things here tonight. So these are all just little things to kind of show you. Did you see the healthcare chart they showed? We consume about 85% of the pharmaceuticals that the whole world makes here in America. We were on number 50 on the world life expectancy chart. Canada is about 13, or actually I think about 15 or 18 people higher than us, and they're geographically similar. They just don't eat the standard American diet like we do. So let's go to the next one. So this is talking about our basically current healthcare system. 61% of Americans are overweight. 1 in 13 Americans have diabetes. 1 out of 2 of us are supposed to have cancer. This was actually from 2019. In our lifetime now, like we said, we are sicker now than we were 20 years ago. You're gonna get it, she's not, you're gonna get it, he's, on and on and on. So, this is all gonna talk about health and wellness. So, healthcare costs are going through the roof, as you well know. I believe one of my friends just had to spend the night in the hospital. Thank God they were okay. Guess how much the bill was? $5 grand for 1 night in the hospital. It's just insane. So we're selling sickness, we won't get into the history of why it is what it is, but there's big corporations and stuff. They want us to be sick. I've been watching the Olympics. It's the only TV I really watch because I don't watch the news. And some of the commercials you're seeing, even on regular TV, it's all about, this drug, this drug, this drug. They're on almost every 15 minutes, drugs and all the side effects they list. So they want us to be sick and keep buying their medicines. So we're going to talk about Enagic. It's a 47-year-old company based out of Japan. It's the top in the industry. We're gold standard. We have a lot of certificates and things we're going to go over here in a minute. We have 40 offices in 23 countries. So I had a gentleman here earlier asking about other ionizers. And I said, well, if you pick another ionizer, find out how old it is, 10, 15 years. Find out where they can service your machine at. There isn't a place. They just get you another one if it breaks. We have the ability to be traveling with these machines, which I do. I could be in France and have an issue with my machine, go into the France office and have them actually repair it, because we make everything in these machines. I'm going to show you that here in a minute. And this is our chairman, Mr. Oshiro, Hironari Oshiro. He bought this company in 1974, and from what I understood in the research I did, it already existed, but they were using it in hospitals in Japan, and it was much more expensive. I think they were, I've heard, and I don't know if this is true, about $1.5 million. They took up the size of this wall to make them, but they were using them for all sanitizing in hospitals and giving the people water over there. And Japanese people are they're the number 1 on the life chart of world life expectancy, if you didn't know that. So yeah, and I'm proud to be one of his messengers, and that's all we do is tell people about it. How it all began. Has anyone ever heard of the blue zones in the world? Yes, you have. Have you heard of them? Everyone has? Okay, for the people that haven't heard of them, they found out in the 1950s there was these places where people were living longer and had literally no disease and stuff, and they found out it had this, what they called miracle water. Lourdes, France, Germany, Tacani, Mexico, India. The Hunza people were one of my favorite ones. They're on a little island, and they're living to be 190 to 160 years old. They're having babies in their 80s and 90s, and they have literally long life and like no diseases or sickness. So they found that all these places had this water, which was rich in hydrogen. And so there's the bottom. It says it was hydrogen, alkaline, antioxidant water was the common thing in all these places. You can look up Lourdes, France, and they actually have a public water fountain that has, I don't even know, about 50, 60 sinks that you can go up to, and there's a line every day down the block to get this miracle water. People come from all over to get it. But these machines, after they did this research, 2 Russian scientists went back home, and they decided they were going to try and duplicate that, and they came up with an ionizer in 1951. Right after that, the Japanese, being really technical, they jumped in, and they've been doing that, and that's our company now is 47 years old. So that's what we do. Enagic's medical technology recreates the properties of that water, and we call it kangen water. Kangen is loosely interpreted, it's a Japanese word, and there's, it's loosely interpreted as returning to origin. So we're taking water out of our tap and taking it back to like it used to be hundreds of years ago. A lot of different properties. I'll kind of go over some of them now. Oh, this is going to show us where we make them.
All of the filtration products are designed and manufactured in Osaka, Japan, under a very strict code of guidelines, which are enforced by the Japanese government. But Enagic takes it one step further than most other water filtration manufacturers. Every component of every product is made from scratch in the factory, under close supervision, ensuring efficiency, durability, and the ability to produce the highest quality kangen water imaginable. From the electrode plate to the charcoal-infused water filters themselves, everything is made in one place with one amazing result: perfection. In the factory, every product is tested before it is allowed to be shipped out. Once the pH levels, ORP levels, and every function of a unit is tested, it is then authorized to be sent out. But going even beyond quality control, Enagic also has a staff of highly trained engineers at the factory to design superior products for future use. Enagic feels that with all of these various aspects of production being contained to one factory, a supreme level of synergy is created, generating the finest products possible.
Pretty crazy, huh? So I worked for Chevrolet for 34 years as an auto mechanic, and I don't know if a lot of you know this, but a lot of things in a Chevrolet vehicle are not original equipment manufacturers. So the seat belts in a Corvette back in the 90s were made by Bosch, a German company. All the different places, some places in Mexico make things for the car. So when something gets a few years old and the seat belt gets broken, we only had so much stock, we didn't make it, so we can't really replace it or fix it. Whereas this company, we made them all, and we have all the parts to repair them. I know a guy in Japan that's had his machine about 29 years now. I've had this store where we do deep cleanings here, and I've seen 16-year-old machines, 9-year-old machines, all everywhere in between. And they're all still working like they were the day they were made, because we have this quality facility. And then this is just some of the products we have, and I'd like to go over them all. So that up there is the 501. That's the Platinum 501. We are always coming up with new innovations. That's the K8 over there. This is the Super, I believe, the Inespa. Oh, that's the new Junior, excuse me, and that's the Super over there. We have an Inespa, which you can see on the wall behind you. It's a shower device. This kind of talks to you a little bit about it, and we're going to talk about it a little bit more. But the K8's a good example. This machine here has a touch screen like your phone or your computer. The old model was a micro switch, so they're always thinking of making things better. And this machine here actually has a tank in the side that has a little bit of salt water, we call it electrolysis enhancer, to make these two waters. The old model, you had to take off a little cap here, put some rock salt in there, turn it on, and make it work, and then take that out and rinse it out before you got your drinking water. So even that machine has come a long ways from its inception. So, what's next here? That's the K8, like I was just telling you. It has an 8th plate. The 501 has 7. They have a 5-year warranty. They say that they'll probably last 20, 25 years, but it's like any car you have. If you maintain the car, it could last for a long, long, long time. And they're priced at $49.80 plus tax. This is going to talk a little bit about the waters, which we're going to get into now. It basically makes 7 different types of water. 3 of them are pH waters. They make an 8.0, a 8.5, 9, and 9.5. It makes a clean water for taking meds. It makes a strong acidic water, which is this one here. This is a germ killer, and actually I'll probably pass this around. This actually smells like bleach, but before I pass it around, I'm going to spray some on my clothes, in my mouth, and in my eye. But I want you to smell this. I'll let you guys do it. It smells really strong, almost like bleach. It is not bleach. It's something called hypochlorous acid. Hypochlorous acid is made with hydrogen, oxygen, and salt, which is in that tank, and electricity. That's how you make it. So, got a little too much in there. But I did that to prove if it was bleach, this would be turning white. I'd be burning a hole in here. It isn't. It's very amazing stuff. We also make a degreasing water, which I'm going to show you. I told you a little bit about. It's really strong alkaline, and a beauty water, which is really good for your skin. In fact, this might be a good time to talk about it. I often skip over it. Did everyone smell it? Doesn't it smell really strong?
Yeah. It tastes very good with the garlic. I hate garlic.
So this stuff in here is beauty water. It's great for your face or your skin. Like, I want everybody to try and spray a few pumps on one hand only, like I'm doing here, and not the other hand. And then I want you to let it air dry. And I want you to see if you notice a difference in the tone of your skin, the moisture of your skin once it air dries. And it's amazing. And that's another one of the waters the machine makes. So, this is kind of how it works. You can see we have a filter here that gets rid of the chlorine, some of the heavy metals, and it's got antibacterial properties, because this surprised me about 5 years ago. I didn't know our water actually has bacteria in it. Even though there's chlorine in there to kill the bacteria, it's mutated that we're actually getting bacteria in our showers and our tap water. And then it goes through the machine, it gets electrified to make all these different waters, and you just simply push a button. Do I want some 9.5 drinking water? Do I want some beauty water? Do I want some clean water? Or do I want to make some of the degreasing and germ killing water? It's really simple. So this kind of tells you a little bit more if you're really technical about hydroxyls and oxygen and hydrogen. That's what's going on with the water when we electrify it. We're breaking apart the hydrogen and oxygen. And then this is the three drinking waters, like I said, 8.5, 9.0 to 9.5. Powerful antioxidant, which was talked about a little bit in that video. The high alkaline, we talked about acidic and alkaline bodies, how important that was. And the microclustered, they showed a fence video. I don't know if you caught that, but we'll be showing you a little bit more. The bigger water cells weren't able to go through the cells of the part of the fence, but the little teeny ones that we electrically reduced did go through. We're going to show you an amazing demo on that in a minute. So, we call it the trifecta of health if you do this and drink these waters, because the water's not miracle. We're not going to make any medical claims, but if you get this water in your body, it can do all those things. You hydrate you better, detoxify you, repair damaged cells, and so that's what we call it, the trifecta of health, and be stronger pH. The strong acidic water I kind of talked about. You can use it to clean off your fruits and vegetables of the poisonous pesticides that are oil-based. You can clean off your meat, your cookware, your knives, toothbrushes, dish towels, cutting boards. It actually removes stains. I like to drink a lot of tea in my cup here. Eventually it'll get stained with the tea or coffee. I pour some of that, let it sit overnight, and the next day it's pure white again. It took out the tea stain. It's good at removing blood stains. You get a little cut and something on your white shirt, it'll clean that out too. This is the beauty water, which we've all spread on there. It shows you how you can wash your hair, do all kinds of different things with it. Moisturizes and tones. It's great for cleaning and stuff. The beauty water also is amazing for boiling pasta and rice and boiling eggs. So when you make hard-boiled eggs, they usually will hit each other while they're boiling, and a little bit of that cracks and some of the white stuff gets out. I don't know why or how, but when you boil them in the beauty water, they'll stay inside. They still might crack, but everything in the water is crystal clear, and they seem to be a little easier to peel. The pasta, for whatever reason, doesn't stick as much, so pretty good. And then if you're into tempura batter, use the 6.0 for the batter mix, and it's lighter and fluffier and amazing. So all these distributors have come up with different uses for all these things. This is the 11.5 degreasing water. You can see up there, they're showing you some different pesticides and things and all the chemicals on the bottom. We can replace with those two waters. On the left side over there, I guess it's your right, it's showing the chlorine levels, which we're going to go over here in a minute too. And what's next here? So, okay, no wasted plastics, chemical free. We have one, this is talking about the Inespa. So let me move over here so I can go over and read it with you. So, 3 concerns associated with bathing in chlorine, the main chemical used to clean tap water. It's proven to cause cancer. They know that chlorine is a cancer-causing carcinogen. It's terrible if you have asthma because you're breathing those hot vapors of the chlorine and getting down and hurting your lungs. It's terrible for skin irritations of anybody, but anybody with eczema that has that, it worsens it. So the benefits of it is it reduces stress, promotes healing, softens skin and hair, You sleep better, promotes hair, nail, and eyelash growth, and reduces inflammation. Now, this particular device filters out all the bad things, the chlorine and whatnot. It has some magnets to ionize it. But it also has an internal cartridge that's got minerals from a world famous Japanese hot springs called Futamaka hot springs. So it's actually infusing those minerals into the water and helping moisturize and tone your skin. It's amazing. I love mine. I wouldn't be without it. I think anybody that has one, how many people in here have one? Okay, do you love it? Yeah, yeah. So, all right, so we're going to talk about the properties we talked about in that first video a little bit. So the first one is antioxidant or oxidation reduction potential. The second one will be structure size. We call it restructuring the surface tension or restructuring, microclustering the water. And then lastly, the pH. So first we'll talk about oxidation. Does everyone know what oxidation is? They showed a couple pictures in that first video. I don't know if you caught, one was a fresh apple and one was a shrivel up that probably been sitting out for a month apple. But when we cut open an apple or an avocado, after about 3 hours or so, what happens? They turn brown and get oxidized. So we can actually spray this water on. Like when I eat an avocado, I'm one guy eating a salad, I only usually eat half of it. And I usually used to wrap it up and put it in the fridge, and then the very next day it was brown. I don't really know that was bad, but I always cut it off and threw it away. I spray a little bit of our water on there, 3-4 days later I go in there, it's still the bright green. It stops that oxidation, and that's what it does inside of our bodies. So we'll be going over those one at a time, starting with antioxidizing. Rust is another one. This is going to talk about antioxidants.
You may have heard people talking a lot about antioxidants. They do an important job in keeping you healthy and preventing the effects of aging. But most of us don't really understand what they are and how they work. In this short video, we'll give you some essential antioxidant facts. Antioxidants are naturally occurring, although poor diet, pollution, smoking and drinking means that a lot of people don't have enough of them. An antioxidant is a substance capable of stopping the oxidation of other molecules in the body. This is a good thing, and here's why. Oxidation of the molecules in our body causes them to split, creating free radicals. Free radicals are molecules which are missing an electron, and as a result, go hunting for other molecules to make up their electron deficiency. The problem comes where free radicals grab these electrons, as it causes a degeneration of other molecules in cells, which can enhance the effects of aging. Antioxidants work by mopping up and bonding with these wandering free radicals to prevent them from damaging the fabric of the body. By ensuring that your antioxidant intake is good, either through your food or by taking a supplement, you're helping your body's fight against the destructive tendencies of free radicals. This in turn slows down the signs of aging brought on by our modern lifestyles.
Is it over? Okay. So she talked about it again. We saw it in the first video again, but we're going to go over it now, and I'm going to show you with this meter. This is an oxidation reduction potential meter, just like it says up there. I like to say it backwards, the potential to reduce oxidation in our bodies, okay? So what I've got up here, I poured them while that video was playing. This is a tool that we're going to use to see whether there's a positive charge or negative charge and where it fits on this chart. We can't see with our eyes whether there's negative or positive charges in there, right? We'll use some other tools in a minute, but most waters and stuff you'll see are about 300, 200, depends. Soda pops are usually a bit more. Sports drinks, I've got Gatorade up there, and tap water are usually a little bit higher in positive. Green tea, steeped the right way, is about minus 90 or so. They got 100. Vitamin C is about minus 80. Cod liver oil, which who drinks that, is about minus 250. And our water can anywhere between 400 to minus 800, depending on the source water and the machine you have. So I forgot your name, sir?
Julius.
Julius, would you be so kind as to help me hold this? And I'll put this in the different waters. And maybe you can hold it up high so that people can see it behind you if they can. So we're going to put it in the soda pop first, and maybe you can tell me what it's reading.
It's fluctuating.
Okay.
400.
420.
But is it positive or does it have a negative sign next to it?
This, I don't see any sign.
Okay, so it's positive, that means, if there's no negative. We're gonna do Gatorade next.
425.
425. Okay, we're gonna do Perrier next. I got a different bunch of choices up here.
413.
413, thank you, Julius. This is Aquafina, Pepsi's water here.
About 410.
410. Here is Smart Water, owned by Coca-Cola.
426.
426. Here's Dasani, also owned by Coca-Cola.
433.
433. Here's Tap Water, Tacoma's finest.
515.
Okay, went up a little bit. This is Essentia, an alkaline water you can buy.
450.
Okay, and then this is going to be our water.
Negative
Negative
700.
715.
Okay, so all we were trying to do there, thank you very much, Julius, was to show you that all of those other waters are dead waters. They're not going to help you with that free radical issue. In fact, had anybody heard the term free radical before they came in here? Everybody had? It's something new. They're having to have commercials on TV now where they're mentioning it, but when I started with an adjunct, I didn't know what the heck a free radical was. And basically, you saw it in the video, but it went pretty fast. There's usually a negative, positive, negative, positive, negative, positive, negative, positive, and it's lost one of the negative charges. So it's really bouncing around all the other cells of your body trying to get at that negative charge. And oftentimes it will. Steal from another one. It becomes a great healthy cell again, but the one it stole it from becomes a free radical. So it's this vicious cycle inside of our body. And they mentioned a little bit quickly, but it comes from stress, pollution, smoking, drinking, things like that. Our diets, a lot of acidic diets will create those as well. So you can see that ours is the only one there that has that property, which is pretty amazing, right? It was pretty high today. So where's my little pointer? So that was the negative part, and then we're going to go a little further. This Dr. Richard Cutler says the amount of antioxidants you maintain in your body is directly proportionate to how long you will live, and how you will live. Well, you will live. That's pretty profound, right? So how many people here want to live longer? How many people want to be healthy when they get to be an older age? Okay, that's it.
Quality.
I have seen so many demos that it's not even funny, hundreds and hundreds. One of them was really a shocker when I think it was Sam came in here. And he said, "Do you have a goal for living to a certain age? Do you? How long do you want to live?" I'm not picking on you. I'm talking to you.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Julius.
However long I'm supposed to live, I guess.
Okay, you don't have one. I didn't either when they asked me this. Anybody else? How about you, sir? Do you have a goal?
Live longer than my parents.
Okay, and how long did they live?
Into their 90s.
Okay, so you want to be 90 plus, maybe 99?
Sure.
You have one?
150.
150, great. So my point in his was in asking that question, and it blew me away. I didn't have a goal. I just, dude, I don't know. I want to live long. But the point is, it's a goal. Like if I want a Mercedes and I'm driving a Chevy, that's a goal of mine. I'm going to have to do some things, maybe not eat out as much, maybe not drink as much beer, maybe not travel as much, and put all that money in to make my goal a reality. Same thing with that long life. You want to live to be a 99, older than your parents, you're going to have to start doing some steps at any point to try and make it there. And this is a great step in the right direction. Yeah, so.
The point was, with the way we're going, you cannot reach your goal.
No, the point would be, you saw the medical things, our medical society, we're all used to eating a pill, a prescription. We're all looking for instant things, you know. We want instant food when we get served. We want instant this. We want everything. I've got a little ache. Go get me a pill, doctor, when I want to feel that ache. And the problem with a lot of pharmaceuticals, and you probably already know this, they'll have side effects. A lot of them have terrible side effects. The ones that kill me the most are the depression ones. You see it on TV. You're depressed. Take this brand. I don't even know the name of it. But one of the side effects is suicidal tendencies. I'm scratching my head watching that commercial. Okay, I'm depressed already. If I take this drug, I might think even worse of myself. Does that make sense? Anyway, so we're going to go now about the structure of the water. This is showing you the tap water is in a bigger cluster. We say 15 to 20 molecules in that cluster, okay? Now if we go on to the kangen water, it's been electrically reduced, or the surface tension has been changed or reduced, so molecules about 4 or 6. So what I want to do now is show you that with a tea bag. So what we're gonna do is just move a couple of these over here. And I've got a tea bag here. Just like we have trillions of cells in our body, right? This is a tea bag. It was an organic living thing at one point. But we're gonna try and make tea with some tap water. And then we're gonna try and make some with the water that I have, our kangen water. What do you think is gonna happen with cold water? Really not a lot of anything, right? Can everybody see that? Maybe I need to turn on my lights here. Turn these on. So, can you all see that they're not really making tea? It's really wet, it's not making tea. And the reason is the molecules are too big. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pour it in a glass first because a lot of people think I'm tricking them on some kind of magician. Crystal clear, electrically reduced water. Watch what happens. We instantly make tea. Now the reason we're doing that is we've electrically reduced the molecules so they're able to get into that tea. The tea was already in this one, but the water couldn't get into the tea. And I'll maybe hold that up. Did everyone see that back there? Yeah. So I think that's pretty profound, and that's like those guys showing you, I have a fence out there, we'll use the same fence analogy. If I threw golf balls at the fence, 100 golf balls at one time, a lot of them are gonna go through, but a lot are gonna hit and bounce back. But if I threw 100 BBs at that fence, more of those BBs are gonna go through that fence than not, and that's kind of what we're talking about here. And so that's why we wanted to show that. It's pretty profound. In fact, I'd like to go a step further. Let's get 2 new glasses out here. And while I'm doing this, everybody that sprayed their hand, you want to take a minute and look at it and feel it? Do you all notice a difference? Smoother?
Yeah.
Color change at all?
Yes.
A little more tonality to it?
I'm all saturated.
You're all saturated, you're all good to go.
Yeah, many years.
So what I'm gonna do here, no trickery involved, this is one of my favorite parts of this. We've already made the tea, so I'm gonna put a little bit in both these cups and show you this again with just a different kind of water here. So hopefully in the back you can see this. I'll kind of tilt them at the light. There's tea in both cups, right? So I used tap water to begin with. Let's just try a different kind of water. Let's try smart water. One would think since I've already made the tea and penetrated the T cells, this is going to continue that process, but really, no, it's not. It's actually like the first water we had, the tap water. It's not getting in the cells of the tea. It's literally pushing it out, making it look like it disappeared. There's only, I don't know if you can see back there, there's a very, very light hue of the green tea in there. So what I'm going to do again is get our water here and pour it in this one. Can you all see the difference there?
Wow.
Yeah. So it was able, I'll hold it up a little bit so you can see. So this was our water in the same amount of tea. This was, what did I pick? Smart water. It's got a little bit of a hue to it, but it's not. And the reason is our water is electrically reduced, the surface tension is less, it's able to get into those little teeny cells. That's what it's doing inside your body and all the little things we've been talking about. So we already know the tea was in there, and just like the tap water, if I add some of my water, because it's electrically reduced, there's the tea. It was in there the whole time. We know we poured it in there from the tea bag, but the water couldn't penetrate it. So that's why we say that this water hydrates you at a cellular level much more than tap water, bottled water, well water. So, all right? Any questions? Make sense to everybody?
Yeah.
All right, so let's go on to our next slide here. And they're going to show us again the regular H2O and the kangen water, which we kind of talked about. Now, this is another thing that they're showing you the tea bag and the cell wall, how restructured water or electrically reduced water, reduced surface tension can actually get into the cells. This is a doctor that wrote a book on hexagonal water. Does everyone know what hexagonal water is or hexagonal means? Six-sided, right. If I took the tap water in this bottle and put it under a microscope, it would be a mass of just craziness, nothing, no structure whatsoever. But if I put the kangen water into there, it's going to be in six-sided molecules.
Organized.
A lot like it organized, like a snowflake. You probably all have seen the pictures of snowflakes. No two are alike, but if you ever look at them, they're six-sided, every snowflake, because the water God made comes down and freezes, and it's hexagonal water. Our bodies, believe it or not, were made from the universe of God, was designed to have hexagonal water go in our body. These machines make it back into hexagonal water. So that's why I put that up there. And the hexagonal water is energetically more powerful than unorganized water. The energy, calories that hexagonal water can store and transfer is measured greater than unorganized water. And it explains why hexagonal water is preferred choice of biological organisms. So, did you have a question?
Oh, I wanted to.
Oh, so you want to get back one?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll go back.
No, well, yeah, both of them.
Okay, she wants to take a picture. Can you get that one, Bernie?
Yeah, hold on.
Okay, phone issues?
Yeah.
So yeah, this technology is amazing. Not only are we electrical reducing it, not only are we making pH, not only are we changing to hexagonal water, not only are there different water choices. Did you get it? Okay, we can do it later.
Yeah, later's fine.
So there's another doctor, Victor Rios, pH biologist, chemistry at MIT, says your body can only absorb about 15% of bottled water, well water, tap water. And because we electrically reduce kangen water, about 85 to 90%. It's literally 6 times more hydrating. If you remember back in the beginning, they showed the body, we're about 70% water. Okay, so when we're really little, we're more water than when we age, just a natural fact. But we need to be hydrated, and this can hydrate you. It actually detoxifies you. The fact that you saw what it does here, and you know what it's going to do to your cells, it gets into your cell, and if 85% is getting in instead of 15, do you know how cells work, everybody, or I'll explain it? Cells bring in the blood and oxygen, minerals, nutrients, but they expel waste. That's how a cell works. It's called the Krebs cycle of a cell. You can look it up later. So if I'm getting 15 to 20% of regular water in, I'm only getting 15 or 20% of waste out of all the cells in my entire body. If I'm drinking kangen water and getting 85% in, that's 65% more detoxifying than I'm doing at a cellular level. The trillions of cells in your hair, your eyelashes, your fingernails, all the organs in your body are being detoxed by drinking this water. Pretty amazing? So let me ask right now, I told you earlier, you might learn something you didn't know. We're gonna just ask that question of you right now. Did you learn anything at all yet that you didn't know?
Yes.
Okay, cool. How about you? Have you seen this before?
I haven't seen it before.
Okay, what did you think? Have you learned some things you didn't know?
I suppose.
Okay, cool. We're gonna continue, and there'll be a few more that might shock you. One back. So again, this is a fact that I like people to Google. 75% of Americans are not just dehydrated, they've added the word chronically, which means badly or severely. So, except for me and the people that are drinking this water, anybody that hasn't been drinking this water, or doesn't drink 8 ounce or 6 8-ounce glasses a day or whatever, half your body weight, is also chronically dehydrated. And a lot of sicknesses and diseases are either caused by or aggravated by that dehydration. How many people have been to an emergency room, watch them give you the saline solution, the IV to hydrate you? They take all your stats first, you measure your weight and see your blood pressure, then they give you the IV. Why do you think they're doing that? The doctors know you're dehydrated, and whatever brought you in, I don't care if it's high blood pressure, you're having whatever, that might calm you down, and oftentimes your blood pressure will go down. So that's why they do it, because they know. So now we're going to talk about alkalization, which does everyone know anything about pH at all? Anyone remember from maybe 9th grade science? It goes from being 0, being really acidic, all the way up to 14. And right in the middle you'll see that 7, which is what we call neutral. And we say that people that are in an alkaline state are obviously healthier, and we kind of learned why in all these little videos we've been watching. And people in an acidic state are more prone to sickness and disease. So which side do you all want to be on?
Health.
Healthy, alkaline? Okay. Do you see how this might help you with that? Yeah, we haven't even got to the alkaline part, which we're going to do now. So we used a tool to see the negative charge of the water. Now we're going to use another tool. These are made by our company, and a lot of people think I'm cheating or using a different drop, but these are full spectrum pH drops. That means I can put them in battery acid and see how orange or red it is, or I can put them in lye and see how alkaline it is, and everywhere in between. Now, if you go to a pool store, you can get some drops for your pool, because that's an important part of keeping your pool at a right pH. But they're very inexpensive, they're not full spectrum, so they're never going to be able to put in battery acid and see how acidic it is, or all the way up into lye, but these will. So that being said, Again, our naked eye cannot tell the difference between all these, so we're gonna put a few drops in all these to see where they find on that chart up there, whether they're alkaline or acidic. And so far, all acidic. I lost one of my bottles. The only one that's a little bit alkaline we had, this was tap water and this was our Essentia. But these are the light green and the yellows are all on the, not on the dark side, so they are acidic. The only ones that came up alkaline is tap water was alkaline, and that's because they add a little bit of lye to neutralize the chlorine effects of corroding the pipe in the street, not our pipes, kind of criminal. And Essentia is touted to be 9.5, and it was at one point, because they added a lot of ingredients, baking soda and some other chemicals and minerals. But because it's been in that bottle so long, it's actually changed its pH. So ours is really the only one up here that's alkaline. So what I'm going to show you how powerful ours is. If you are acidic, we'll show you that we can change the acidity level with just a little bit of our common water. So there's the Essentia brought back to 9.5. Here's tap water. Here's Dasani. Just a little bit. So if you've been drinking Dasani, you're in a acidosis state, your whole body's acidic. We can change that with just a little bit of our water. The more you drink it, the more it changes. Here we go with the Smart Water, and I don't know if all you in the back can see this. This is Aquafina. I'm going to pour just a little bit of ours in there. It goes from that green to the nice bright purple. Now I'm going to do the soda pop and hold it up. The soda pop is so acidic that I can't change it with my water, and the reason is it's that acidic. It's about 2.5 pH. It would take me gallons of this water to change this to an alkaline state. So that being said, this is a 20-ounce bottle, and I use soda pop. I don't want to pick on any companies, and I actually did this demo with Sprite on the label, and some little kid, 8 years old, went and told all his buddies, "You got to see this guy's demo. Sprite's terrible," but he came back drinking a can of Coke. So I had to tell him, this is only representing your Rockstars, your Mountain Dews, your Dr. Peppers, your root beers, your Cokes.
All sodas.
All sodas. So this is a 20-ounce bottle of soda pop, we'll call it. If I drank this 20-ounce bottle, I'd have to drink 32 20-ounce bottles of my water just to get back to a 0 neutral pH. Crazy, right? Now Gatorade and vitamin water are also very similar. I'm going to pour that in here. And again, you're going to see I'm not able to change it. It would take gallons to do this too. But this Gatorade kills me. This is still a 20-ounce bottle, even though they're shaped differently. If I drank this, I only have to drink 20 bottles of my water to get back to a state. So it's a little bit less acidic. Now we have the Perrier up here, also seeming a little acidic. And this one's kind of tricky. You got to keep your eye on it. When I pour this in, it's going to turn alkaline, but then it goes right back to acidic. The reason is, this is good water in France where they bottle it at the source, but they use carbonic acid to make it have the bubbles. So this is your Perrier, your Pellegrinos, all those sparkling waters you do, and they're just like the soda. So now that I've diluted this soda water, I'm going to pour just a little bit in all these waters so you can see. Just a splash took that living water and killed it into a really acidic water. Here's the Smart Water. We got a nice alkaline tint. Just drops. Acidic. And this is the diluted Coke, right? Or soda, excuse me. Again, this is Dasani. It's nice bright purple. Just a splash changes it, and it's good. I'm going to continue on. It's going to kill all these. Now, a lot of people tell me, especially younger people, well, I gotta drink that soda at Grandma's barbecue or at the movies or whatever. So I'm gonna take one capful of the soda pop and put it in this living water, and it did the same thing. Just one capful. That's how acidic it is. So, we talked a little bit in those first few videos about the body's balance with pH and acidic and all that. You see why America could probably be a little bit acidic from all the things they're drinking and eating. So yeah. Then we got the machines again back up here, and they're actually medical devices, and they have a certification. So I think it goes into the next slide here. Medical device. This is a certificate from the, careful there, Japanese Ministry of Health. It's equivalent to our medical association here, the AMA. and they endorse these machines as medical devices. So it's crazy. And can you see the reasons why all these different properties of the water could make your body be a little bit healthier? That's why they've done that. And from what I've heard, it takes a lot of money and about 10, 11 years time to actually get certified through the Japan, because the Japanese government is very crucial in doing that. So here we go again. We've also got certificates from the ISO, which is an independent company, and the first one is called a 13485, and right there, I don't know if everyone can see that, it's for comprehensive management systems and design of manufacturing of medical devices, right? Next to it, it talks about enforcement of management. That's a certification 1901-2000. And then there's one up there for quality management, another certificate from the same company, which is an independent lab that just checks out people. We also have what's called the Gold Seal from the Water Quality Association. Now, has anybody else ever heard of a different kind of ionizer? Like Tyant or American Ionizer or any of those? ACO, whatever they are. No other ionizer company in the whole entire world has this Gold Seal. We're the only company in Addict that has it. So, again, another independent place looked at what we do and said, oh my gosh, because we make them all, because they're such high quality, because they're medical grade, we got this Gold Seal. Now we're going to talk a little bit about Ukon. It's turmeric. Does anyone know anything about turmeric? Yeah? Yes, so turmeric is an amazing supplement, or it's good for cooking, but turmeric is an amazing thing, and our turmeric is really amazing, and we're going to go over that a little bit. It's got all these different things in it. We've got olive oil, perilla oil, turmeric oil, flaxseed oil, primrose oil. It's got some vitamins and things. But it's great for a lot of different things. And I think this is showing you what's in each capsule, again. And you can see we have the Ukon powder, which is turmeric is the word for turmeric in Japan. Ukon, it's actually pronounced. I've been calling it Ukon for years, and when I went over to Japan, they're like, no, ice cream cone, Ukon. Okay, got it. But we have over there on this one side something called spring Ukon oil. That spring Ukon oil makes this more bioavailable to your body. So if you get turmeric at Costco or GNC or anything, because it's turmeric, it doesn't really go, about 8% gets in your cells. It's not really easily adjusted into our bodies. So a lot of people that take supplements, does anybody here take any kind of supplements and try and increase them with black pepper? Have you heard of, you use black pepper to get?
I know turmeric's not curry.
Yes, it is, you're right. But if you eat some supplement that doesn't absorb in your body with black pepper, it makes it double the effect. I don't know how or why, but it's a fact. So if you're getting 8% of normal turmeric in your body, you double it, we'll say to 16, we'll even round it up to 20. Because of that stuff there, that spring oil, that makes it more bioavailable to our bodies, and about 85% of our turmeric penetrates our cells and gets into our body. It makes it bioavailable to our body. So Danny Johnson was here a couple years ago. He was the head of Kangen Foods, which makes this in Okinawa, Japan. And somebody asked him, are we going to add black pepper? He goes, why wouldn't we? If you're only getting 16, we'll say 20% by adding the black pepper to all the other ones out there, pennies per pound of the follow Ukon. We use the spring Ukon with the high oils. We're getting about 85% bioavailability. We don't need to add the black pepper. So the answer was no. But it's an amazing product. Here we go again, the American Cancer Society tells you about turmeric and all the different things. It boosts the immune system, natural painkiller, anti-cancer, helps with Alzheimer's, kills parasites, improves digestion, fights inflammation. In fact, a lot of people that I know, when I give them some of this, if they got arthritis, they come back in a day and go, oh my gosh, my arthritis is gone from this stuff. So, many amazing healing properties, and we sell it through an addict. So, we've also won a lot of green awards all over the country. I haven't got to the chemical part yet, we're going to do next, but I think it's 60 billion of these a day Americans go through, something like that. And we only recycle 12 to 11% of these in the entire world. Even though here in Washington, we actually put in a recycle bin, they get put out into different places like India. We used to do China, but right now we're not doing China anymore. They're not taking our stuff. and they've been inundated with all these plastics that they've made as many roads, as many benches and things, so they end up in other countries' landfills, or out in the ocean, we all know that, right? You've heard of there's a mass out there of plastic, not just bottles, the size of the state of Texas floating out in the Pacific Ocean. So you can kind of see our oceans are turning into plastics. I think it was said by 2050?
Yes, 2050, yeah.
There'll be more plastic in the
and
ocean
fish.
than there are fish.
Oh my.
That's criminal, right?
Yeah.
But it's a fact. So again, we have, you buy a reusable bottle, fill it up time and time, and this is gonna last. I've already had this 4 years, you know, so instead of doing this, drinking it, throwing it away, getting another one later today, getting one tonight, throwing 3 bottles away in a day, are gonna end up maybe in the ocean, maybe in the landfill. Plus we've done it because of our chemical-free stuff, which we're gonna go into. We've won environmental awards, and we wrote up in different magazines and got all kinds of certificates. So I'm gonna show you, let's see if, we're gonna show you the cleaning of fruits and vegetables. So what we're gonna do is get rid of some of these, and I'll show you what I told you a little bit ago. We'll use the tap water. So these are from Costco, and I'm not picking on Costco, but these are just regular old tomatoes, and these are the actual brand. This was my wine moment when Carlos came over to my house. He opened these up at my house, he put a bunch of them in a thing, and he asked me, how do I rinse my fruits and vegetables, or do I just eat them out of here? Does anybody just get their blueberries and tomatoes and pop them in and eat them, or do you rinse them? So rinse them? Same as me. What are you rinsing them in usually? Tap water?
Really hot water, and put a little bit of,
So you have that education, something to try and get off what's on there, right? Do you ever see anything come off when you do it that way?
sometimes,
Okay.
fruits, you
Okay.
can see that.
Yeah. All right, so what we're gonna do here is we're gonna pick, we're just gonna fill these both up here in a second. And I'll do one more here, I think. Yeah, that's to me. And then I'm gonna let, since I picked on you a little bit there, I'll let you pick which one you want me to do, tap water, and which one we're gonna use under degreasing water.
How about tap water?
Tap water there. Okay, so we've got Tacoma's finest poisonous tap water here. And we're gonna pour it in here. And again, so that you don't think I'm tricking you, because I've had lots of people accuse me that I'm doing some kind of magic up here. Yeah, I had a Korean lady that didn't believe what was in here came from the machine. And I'll show you all in a minute if you don't believe me, but this came from the machine. And so I wanted to show you though that it's just clear water, right? It's really strong alkaline, 11.5 pH. This we all talk to and call it as our degreasing water. So I'm gonna pour some in there. And then what I'm gonna do at the same time is show you the power of it. So what happens when we mix water and oil?
It doesn't mix.
They don't mix. So again, I'm gonna pour a little bit of oil in this one, and a little bit in this one, and we'll let you pick again which one you want me to do tap water.
Well, let's keep it consistent.
So we're gonna go with tap water on this side. Now this is a really dark sesame oil, so you can see it in the back hopefully. So we're gonna pour this. What happens when we mix water and oil?
Oil floats to the top.
Oil floats to the top, or they don't mix, is what I was looking for. And here's our tap water, and in just a minute you're gonna see all that nice dark sesame oil floating on the top. And where did I put my water? I think, did I use it all?
No, it's on there.
Oh, here it is, thank you. So this is what we used on the tomatoes. Here's what happens when we use our water. Can everybody see? I'll hold it up so the people back can see. So this is the tap water, which is crystal clear on the bottom, has a little about 1/4 inch line of the oil on the top. This one became a milkshake looking like. Well, what we call that is emulsification. This water is so strong that it was able to get into this oil and break it down like that. So again, another award from Enagic was we get rid of chemicals in our house. This is so powerful, but yet it's safe enough to drink. Now Enagic, for the people in TV land out there, they don't want you to drink this, but it's not gonna hurt me. So that's that. And then I wanted to show you, I told you I'd show you the walnuts. So these are from Trader Joe's. I'm not picking on any company here. And I don't know, what I've been told is, if we read the ingredients, in fact, you're right up front. See if you can find the ingredients on that bag and read them to everybody.
I'm not getting it.
That's okay, I need a minute to do what I'm doing. So he's gonna tell us what they're publishing as the only ingredient in that bag.
Walnuts.
That's it.
That's it.
Walnuts. But if you know anything about nuts, pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds, walnuts, pistachio, anything, if you don't have something to preserve them, they get air, they get soft. So my theory is there's a preservative on here that is oil-based, and it basically is on there. So what we're going to do is the same thing we're doing with the tomatoes. We're going to stick a few of these nuts in here. What's that? Yeah, they do. So, oxidized. So I think there's about the same amount, and we'll just go with the same theory. Same tap water on the left side for you, I guess. So we're gonna put some tap water in that one. We're just gonna pour straight out here, my degreasing water, and we'll let those soak a minute. And I'm gonna actually do one more. We're gonna do rice on the end. So remember I told you earlier that tomatoes had as many as 26 different pesticides, insecticides, and herbicides. How many do you think rice has? Anybody got a clue?
81.
Nope, less. It's got 15. But that blew me away when this kid in India told me to do this. So we're gonna pour some in this cup, some in this cup, and what we're gonna do is the same thing over again. Tap water's gonna go on this side, and we're gonna put our degreasing water on this side. So, alright, so here we go. And now we're gonna let all that sit. Now we're gonna go back to the tomatoes here. This was our kangen water. What I'm gonna do here is just a quick little rinse. I'm gonna try and pour off this water without touching them. COVID and all. So can everybody in the back see what came off of this? Maybe I should get rid of some of these so we can see.
Should I remove the water bottle?
What's that?
Do you want me to remove
Yeah, I can get them. Here we go. But thank you. So I guess putting them lower, you're not gonna see them in the back, but I'll hold it up. This has got a yellow, like, rock star tint to it. That's what the poisons that came off the tomatoes from our degreasing water. Now, I'm gonna do the tap water ones and give them a couple sloshes here. Then try and pour it off without touching them. Whoops, one came back. No touching. And on this one, the water is crystal clear. So I'll hold up the two different ones. Tap water on this side, our degreasing water. This is what came off the tomatoes. Now, this was my why moment of why I invested in the machine. So what I'd like to do, these are tap waters. Let's have everybody try one of the tomatoes, if you will, and see if you can taste the difference. So I'll let you hold these and just pass them around to the back. The first one I'm sending out is the kangen water rinsed tomato. And I don't want to put any thoughts in your head about what they're going to taste like. But when you're all done, I want you to kind of tell me once you're done trying this one. The second one we're passing out now is going to be the tap water rinsed one. So try one of those, and she'll pass them back. And then while we're doing this, what I'm going to do is continue with the rice. So this is the tap water over here. And it's going to turn white with starch. But this one here, if you see it, it's really, actually this rice is nasty. This one has a lot of, this is a light white. This has a browny yellow to it. Those are the poisons, those 15 pesticides, insecticides, and herbicides that I talked about on the rice that you're seeing. So, and then we'll go to the nuts next. So these were our kangen water nuts. And you can see what's coming off with our kangen water. And then we'll do the tap water. You're going to see the difference. So, can everybody see that? The kangen water for the walnuts took off all this stuff. The tap water didn't really take, it's got a little bit of a milkiness, but obviously there's a huge difference in there. And to be honest, I think it's preservatives, but I have no idea what it is. But when you rinse them and if you tasted them, so now everybody's had a chance to taste the tomato. Question.
Pardon me, so we're supposed to be rinsing our walnuts?
Uh-huh.
Really?
Pecans, walnuts, all that. Yeah.
Good to know.
Unless you grew it in your own backyard and you knew and baked them in your oven, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I do. So, great question, sir. Great question. Did everyone get a chance to taste the 2 tomatoes? Yes? Stay with me now.
Yes.
Did anyone notice a difference in the taste? You noticed a difference? Did you notice a difference? You didn't? How about you guys?
A little cleaner.
Okay.
Crisper, cleaner taste.
Good. Yeah, we rinsed off that oily coating on the outside. When I eat them, the first one I chew up the skin and it dissolves all, but the second one usually there's big chunks of the skin in my mouth. For me, the first one tasted sweeter, like I grew it in my backyard. The other ones have a little bit of a bitter aftertaste, in my opinion. So we're gonna go back to these ones here, and I'm gonna show you. So next one we're gonna do is chlorine. Last test we're gonna do. These are chlorine drops. So what I'm gonna do is get 2 glasses of chlorinated water here, tap water. And of course, city's water in here. Here we go. Here we go. And I think you saw that chlorine chart, but if you didn't get to keep saying it, up here, behind here, I have one on the wall. If it's light yellow, it's gonna have a little bit that goes all the way to orange. So what I'm gonna do is put about 6 drops, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 drops, up 7, we'll go with 7. We're gonna mix up the medium. I'm gonna show you how high the chlorine level here in Tacoma is. I'm gonna kind of go over to my chart after I lift this up. So we're not on the light yellow, we're not even in the middle. We're down on the end where it's almost orange, and as it sits there, it's gonna get darker. So this is the same tap water that I poured in there. I haven't added the chlorine drops. I'm just gonna put 3 of my fingers in here for about 5 seconds. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 seconds. We're gonna stick it back over here, drop my fingers, put my lid on this. Put the same 7 drops in we did with the tap water, the same tap water. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 drops. We're gonna mix it up because you have to mix up the medium. And you're gonna see, and I'm gonna hold it up for the back people, there's no more chlorine in that tap water. Where do you think it went to?
Your skin.
It went into my skin. I absorbed all the chlorine that was in that tap water with my fingers. Right now my liver's in overtime trying to get some of that chlorine poison out of my body. Yeah. Now, this was the tomato water that we got off. I'm gonna do the same thing with the chlorine drops. It should turn this yellow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're gonna mix it up. And the same thing happened. So we didn't really clean the tap water tomatoes. We cleaned the water.
Oh my gosh, it went in.
So one of the reasons most people will taste the difference, we didn't rinse off the poisons, which I lost that cup somewhere. But we did, I guess it was this one. We didn't clean off the poisons. We cleaned the water. The tomatoes clean the water. So another reason why you usually will taste the difference is we did clean out the poisons on the one, and we actually introduced more poisons with the tap water. This is a really cool way for me to show you chlorine because of these nice drops up here. But our tap water has arsenic, chromium-6, it goes on and on and on. I would be willing to bet you money that if we send these to a lab, we'd find traces of that other stuff that's in our tap water, also absorbed in the tomatoes. So, pretty crazy? Yeah. Can you see how we might be unhealthy having some of these pesticides and different things going on in our body? Yeah. And the oil I'll just leave there so people can see it. And I think let's go to our slideshow and continue on here. And that was one of the other reasons. So now we're going to talk about the spread through health globally, physical health, which is what I started with in the beginning, financial health we talked about, and spiritual health. Well, now we're going to go into the financial health. So first we talked about physical health up until now, all the different properties, all the different reasons to get rid of poisons, hydrate, become more alkaline, have that negative charge to repair damaged cells.
Hexagonal water.
Hexagonal water. Now we're going to talk about the financial opportunity. And if you don't want to hear this, you don't have to stay. That's okay. I'm going to go through it pretty quickly. So the best product made by an original equipment Japanese company, the best compensation, they pay you very well to do what I do. And the best company, the best home-based business, health, finances, and peace of mind. So understanding the compensation plan. There's no sign-up fees, no monthly qualifications, no stocking or having inventory. Has anybody in here been in another type of multi-level marketing at all, like Amway or Metaluca or Herbalife? You were? Did you have to buy stuff and have it in your house somewhere and then go out and have everybody come at Sunday to get their shampoo or whatever they were buying? Yeah. That's one of the beauties of this. You fill out 3 pieces of paper, go up to them and get the machine or have it shipped to their house, wherever they are. So there's no stocking, there's no annual renewal. When you buy a machine, if you choose to, you become a distributor with 1 piece of paper. Some people I've met have done it to 4A and then quit, come back 4 years later and keep going on. You don't lose your rank. It's international sponsoring. What that means is you might all have somebody around the world that you know that can get this. We're in, like I said earlier, 40 different locations in 23 countries. So I have clients in Indonesia, I have clients in Guam, I have clients in Florida, I have clients in Chicago, I have clients all over basically. And there's 9 ways to earn income. We're gonna go through a few of them. It pays daily, they always say, but you get checks in the mail. And we all know we don't get checks on mail on Sundays, so I had to put it except Sunday. I don't know why. Most of my checks come on Monday, so whenever I'm on Facebook, I'll say I love Mondays, and all these workers are like hating me. Why do you say you love Mondays? Do you all know the suicide rate is the highest on Monday mornings in America? Because a large majority of people that work for somebody at a job don't like what they do, especially, you know, I won't get into different occupations, but so I'm going to kind of stand over here so I can see it and talk about it. So this is talking about the K8, which is the white machine over on the side. It shows you that it costs $4,980, 0 down, $54 a month if you have it on a credit card. We do in-house financing as well. And if you want to do the business, you start out as a 1A. So when you first help a family in your life, you're going to get a check for $340. The next family you help, you're going to get another check for $340. The next family you help, you get a little raise. Now, I've never been in any of their multi-level marketing, but don't you have to do some things to get to a certain goal? Doesn't it take a little bit of time, a little bit of effort? So again, I've been told, and I believe this is one of the best companies because they rank you up very fast. The next one is going to be if you help 10 people here, you go up to 3A and you get 3 pieces of the pie. Every time a machine is sold, every one of our machines, including our Ukon product, they write out 8 commission checks. When you're a 1, you get 1 of them. When you're a 2, you get 2 of them, and so on and so forth. The highest rank you can technically get is 6A, so you get 6 pieces of the pie. But each machine you buy, or each Ukon you buy, each shower device you buy is a franchise. So you can think of having like a business here in Tacoma, a business in Federal Way, a business in Lakewood. And if you put one under the other, you can make one a 4A, the other a 4A, and get all 8 pieces of that pie. And that's what I teach people how to do. So this is showing the commissions based on all the machines. So the K we just showed you was $340. The 501 is that machine to everybody's right over there. Still year to date, this K8's only been out about 6 years. The 501 worldwide is still the most popular machine bought. The Nespot is right underneath it. That one pays $185 per point. We have a Super one, which is made for like hospitals, restaurants, nursing homes, things like that. It pays $400. And the Ukon pays $40 per renewal. So, and then this kind of shows how it goes. If you see the K8, you start a 1A leg when you help your first family, you start another 1A leg. Every time that person sells, if it's a K8, you're always going to get $340. If it's a 501, you get $285. And as long as it's on the first position down, as long as it's below 8 points, you're always going to get checks. It goes all the way up to the 6A there. Once you become 6A on a 501, or I'm sorry, K8, you get $2,040 per sale. Pretty lucrative, right? So this is talking about what the top earners do. The biggest thing for everybody that wants to do this is right there. Share the water and offer a proper introduction to you in advanced water technology. Take an interest in people. This just comes from business. We have 2 ears and 1 mouth. I know I've been doing all the talking here, but when you meet somebody out at Costco with a pallet of water from Kirkland and you're doing this business, you want to interview them and listen to them, not tell them all about what you do. And so on and so forth. But the biggest thing is basically give out water. And then it's fun, it's improving yourself with your friends and becoming wealthy with them too. These are just some of my friends. This was actually the second demo we ever did. It was in the Bellevue Maidbauer Center. We had a 30-foot table and 3 banners behind us. This is in the Magic Store. That's me and my partner Heike. This is one of my first sales right there. Oops, sorry, wrong way. What did I do? Oh, I lost it. We were almost done anyway. So yeah, that pretty much ends it, basically. So I just quickly went over the business plan because we're already at 8:30, I think, so hour and a half in. Whoever invited you here can explain more of the business plan. Does anybody have any questions about any of it?
Do the machines, are they leased at all, or are they strictly for sale?
They used to have a guy that leased them, but that was about 7 or 8 years ago, and they don't do it anymore. So the best way, if you can't get it because you have bad credit, you went bankrupt, you're about to buy a house or something, and you don't have good credit, you get a credit card to put it on. And Magic does in-house financing. This one here is $150 a month. That one over there is $180 a month. I think that one there is the same as this, $150 a month. The Nespa is $158 a month. So you can finance them through a Magic. The beauty of that is they don't check your credit, so you can get one today or tomorrow, and it doesn't go against your credit if you are trying to buy a house. I've had 3 people in my 6 years that are buying a house, and I don't know if you ever bought a house right before you're closing. They got all your debt to ratio incomes and all that crazy stuff, and they say don't buy anything at all because we've got you locked in at the rate and what you could afford. And if you go out and get a credit card or something, that messes everything up. But I've had 3 people actually get these through in-house and not have it because it doesn't go on their credit report. So that's a great question. Yes?
The other thing is Chase is giving you 15 months.
Right.
Interest plus $200 on top.
Right. I wanted the Cade, I think I told you guys, and the shower device, because when you saw the fingers in the chlorine, I already committed because of the tomatoes to buying the KA, because it just came out. But when I did the finger thing, I'm like, oh my gosh, I asked the guy, how am I ever going to take a shower, wash my hands again? And he didn't have even any literature, nothing. He goes, we got this shower thing. Okay, I want that too. I didn't have the money to buy them. I just didn't have it. I wasn't good at saving, but I had good credit. So back 5-6 years ago, actually, Chase, City Simplicity did 21 months interest free. And so my payments on that machine and that machine were $58 a month. So I was able, during Christmas, I made the minimum payment. All the other months I made more, and between starting to the 21 months, which is almost 2 years, I was able to pay it off and not have any interest whatsoever. So looking back, which I told the guy, I don't want to do this, if you remember, I had someone else buy my stuff for me. Another company, Citibank, basically financed my machines. And then if you get about 8 sales, depending which machines they buy and you buy, 8 to 10, if you do the business, your machine becomes free. So there's at least 3 people in everybody's warm market, I call it. Does everyone know what I mean by warm market? That's people that you know. You might be workers, church, relatives, neighbors, yoga people. And that's exactly what happened to me. My pastor, warm market, first guy I know. Ex-mother-in-law, warm market. Neighbor, warm market. Boom, 6 months from me getting this, those 3 people. In fact, the 3rd person begged me to get it. It changed her life so much from drinking the water. She actually called me on Easter Sunday begging me. And I'm like, Michelle, are you kidding me? I work all week, it's Easter. She's like, please, 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 please come over here. And I did. And she got her machine. That's when I changed my mind about doing this. I'm like, okay. Because for me, for those sales, I got $1,180. You just saw how it ranks up.